Alright, hey, group one, you're right here on this side. Group two, you're in the middle. Group three, you're down there on the far end with me. Group two, by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, with Bella. I'm free. I'm in fruit.
Sebastian, you right here? Okay.
Alright. Okay, so, hey, close that door. Alright, is everybody something right with?
Chest.
Alright.
Ready.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Set my timer.
For how long?
13 minutes. Yep.
So I have
39. 15.
You guys want
I think at 45.
55?
I think at 45.
work together?
We got a second.
Go ahead and take out.
Alright, so, everybody look at this paper right here. Isabella. This paper right
And
here.
I want you to
Okay? So, we're gonna talk about solving for missing sides today. So there's the step.
I want you to find the
process.
ones
Okay?
that say
So first step
sine,
is to
cosine,
label
sin,
the sides.
cos, tan.
What else is like this?
Right here.
On the paper where it says one.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Just
5.
grab those three for me. So yesterday we learned
Okay?
about
So you're labeling the sides. So that's
how we
hypotenuse, that's
find
opposite,
three
and that's
ratios,
adjacent.
okay? Which is, it's like a fraction, right?
Okay.
Something over something
Step
else.
2 is to
For
use
sine, cosine.
SOHCAHTOA.
Does anybody remember like the little
Okay.
trick that we
Where is
showed
it
you?
from?
How we sounded out what is it, Jake? Okay, but, you're exactly right,
Alright.
but what is that little saying that we said?
Alright, so like kind of like in this middle
How's it
section
back
here,
here? It's in.
we're gonna write down those
So,
ratios again.
right?
So
So we
for
kinda,
sine,
the English teachers will appreciate that. You're gonna
what
sound it
was the,
out,
what
right?
were the two sides
So,
of the for sine?
Opposite
Let's see
and
if you
hypotenuse.
So O
I
and the
have
H
three,
stand for
like,
opposite.
fractions, right?
and hypotenuse.
Opposite over hypotenuse and adjacent over hypotenuse.
So cosine,
And
what were
A.
the two sides we did for cosine?
Opposite over adjacent.
Adjacent and hypotenuse.
I want
Adjacent
you
and
to
hypotenuse.
see if you, knowing so,
And then
so.
T
you can
is
match
tangent.
up Sine with what?
What were the two
ratio
sides you
is.
did for tangent?
Cosine with what the trig ratio is.
Opposite and adjacent.
So just like that. Excellent job, buddy. Excellent job.
Okay.
Sine, opposite
So,
of that, cosine. Okay.
That's what you're gonna use to make your trig function, your equation, okay? Step 3 is to set up your ratio.
A, B, and C, okay? Okay, so, see that together?
And solve,
Good.
okay? And we'll go over how to solve
Okay,
those.
so you're, we're gonna
Alright.
use these later, okay?
Step 4 is already filled out for you. This is around all
Sine,
answers
opposite over hypotenuse.
to 2 decimal places.
What are the other two?
Alright, that's the nearest 100. Okay? Questions on these steps?
Okay.
All
So,
right.
remember yesterday, and let's say we had, we wanted to draw this
Out here, so we got
sine.
58 degrees,
Okay.
12,
I wanted
and
to ask you, I want you to find the
so,
sine.
first things first is that we have to label our sides. So this is the angle we're gonna be looking at, the one that they give you.
The sine
Okay,
of
so
what?
I gotta change the thing here.
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to take these now, and I want you to label from side
Alright, so look
A.
at this angle right
Which
here,
side is the hypotenuse,
okay?
and which side?
What is the 12 on this triangle?
Adjacent, I mean hypotenuse.
How do you know it's the hypotenuse? It's across from the 90-degree angle, that's right, so this is our hypotenuse. Okay?
Okay, so sine
What's
is
the
which
x on this triangle? It is, why is it the opposite, not the adjacent?
one? Okay, now which one is cosine, which one
Furthest
is
away, so that's my opposite.
Excellent.
Okay?
Okay,
So we have the opposite side and our
Go
hypotenuse.
back and see if
So
you
what
can
trig
go back
function do you
and
use
put
for
this
the opposite side and the
Okay.
hypotenuse?
And if you want to, use these
Sin,
manipulators.
right, or sine. So that's how you write your
Figure
equation.
out where everything is.
Sine
See what you can
58
do there.
equals our opposite
All right.
over our
So-
hypotenuse.
First things first.
Okay? So when you were making your equation, guys,
Okay.
the angle always goes with the trig function.
Sine.
Alright, so if it's sine, cosine, or tangent, it always gets
So-
the angle measurement, alright? Now, we have to solve this. So we have sine 58 equals x divided by 12. So we gotta get x by itself. How do you get x by itself? It's being divided by 12.
You believe that was strong
What?
connection?
That's right.
Okay.
Opposite of
Put it
divide
there,
is
right?
multiplication. So
Okay,
we're gonna
so-
multiply.
If I have sun,
I calculated this broken.
gonna be which one? Sine.
I'll fix it.
My second letter
Alright.
sound is
So
O.
the left side is now gonna look like
It's another
this.
choice, right?
12
You
times
see
sine
this
58.
So, no. Okay.
On the right side, the
Sine,
12's
so,
cross out, and now it's just x.
It's gotta be, it's not so.
Alright, so this is where your
It's just
calculator's
so.
gonna come in handy.
So it's gonna be opposite over hypotenuse. Okay?
Okay?
How?
So, do I have a calculator?
What is cosine gonna
No.
That's a good one.
No. You're gonna share with Cameron.
be? So,
Alright, so what I want you to do, type in 12 times,
Okay, you understand how we get that with the center?
okay? Now, does everybody see the sine, cosine, tangent buttons on the calculator?
Okay.
It's like right underneath the little circle pad.
Now.
Type in sine and 58,
Label this.
and you can hit enter.
Okay.
There should be some big decimal.
Five asks you to find the
17.6, so we're gonna round that up to 10.18.
I'm looking for the opposite of A, and whatever the hypotenuse.
Then you might get like 11.9 or something like that.
First things first, where's the hypotenuse?
So your calculator's in radians.
I'm just trying. Yes.
Isabella, you good over there?
Yeah.
So, from this
Get
A,
it?
where's the opposite?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
What'd you get?
got it.
Okay, so your calculator's in
Where
radians,
would
so
these
let
pieces be?
me fix it real quick.
Okay, so, I want you to go back.
So now if you type it in, it should be like that, 10.176.
I want you to go back
Okay.
to those other two. Okay?
So, any questions on this one? Alright, so let's look at the next problem here.
Okay, so from A,
We got
from
X,
angle A,
eight,
the sine is opposite
and
of
it's
hypotenuse.
41 degrees.
What is the opposite?
Okay. So we're looking at this thing right here,
Opposite side is.
right? So
That's
first, what's our
opposite.
step one?
The hypotenuse is 13. Okay.
Label.
So.
Label the sides. So, what is the x in this triangle?
Right?
It is your
Okay,
opposite,
well, you're doing it together, great.
okay? What is your
Sine is
8
what?
in this triangle? Jason, yep,
Cosine is what?
alright. So, what trig function uses the opposite and the
Those are the two
adjacent?
choices left.
What?
Yes.
Tangent, that is correct.
Because it's that.
So you got tan
Ah,
41
Jason.
equals,
Has an O and A
over
sound,
eight.
right? Got it.
okay?
Okay, so, I want you to label this triangle.
Now.
okay? A, B, and C.
How do we get rid of divide by 8? Multiply by 8, yep.
Yes, sir. Okay, label it.
Alright,
Then I want you to see if you can find.
so now,
Well,
my left side should
label
be
the
8
side.
times tan 41
Labeling the angles.
equals x. Because the 8's on the right side will cross out.
13, yes.
So now type that into your calculator like we did the first
Is
problem.
that what you got?
Okay.
Opposite over.
Just because the trig function change doesn't mean that the process is gonna change. So 6.954, so we'll keep that at
Why could it not
6.95.
be 13? 13 is already
Okay.
taken by what?
Questions?
What was it here?
Everybody good on that one? Let's see, what's our time?
Hypotenuse, okay?
Just 6 minutes.
And then
Alright,
adjacent
we're gonna,
side.
we're gonna skip 3, sure, hurry up, use your phone.
Has to be that other number.
We're gonna skip number 3, we're gonna go to number 4. That way you guys
Actually,
can.
I'm using next
Oh.
station.
Where's the opposite? Where's the
Alright.
hypotenuse? So what's left? Adjacent.
So again, hey, we're skipping number 3 for right now, we're gonna go to number 4.
And it's actually gonna be for all,
Okay.
because we're finding the different angle A. No, no, because this one's opposite
Alright.
of hypotenuse.
So,
Got that right. Cosine
I'm looking at this angle right here.
is adjacent over hypotenuse.
What is,
13.
what is x in this triangle?
So that would be hypotenuse.
Right, remember it's opposite of that box, so that's the hypotenuse,
Okay,
okay?
correct that.
So what's the 13? It's adjacent,
Okay, so now you can move on to the,
okay? So what trig function is gonna use the adjacent and the hypotenuse? Alright, so how we set this up? Cosine of 39
great.
equals 13 over x. What do you notice is different from this problem and the first two that we did? Okay, so it's gonna slightly change. It's gonna pretty much add one more step, but then the next problem I'll show you the shortcut. I just gotta show you why the shortcut works first.
And then remember tangent.
Okay.
Opposite.
So,
over adjacent.
how do I get rid of this fraction if it's divided by x?
5 over,
How'd you get rid of, like if you did
right?
x over 12, you multiply by 12, right? So we're gonna multiply by x.
But no, not
Okay.
5 over 12. That would be.
So when you do that, your new equation is x times cosine 39 equals 13,
Yes.
okay?
And then what is the adjacent? Yep.
Now,
You got it.
I have x times cosine 39 equals 13. How do I get rid of times cosine 39 then?
A squared plus B squared equals.
Yeah, think of cosine 39 as just a regular old number, okay? So we're dividing by cosine, that's terrible.
Put that one right, you're gonna do that with Mr. Sanders.
Divided by cosine 39.
B squared plus B
Okay.
squared equals C squared?
So, that looks like is, these cosines will cross out. You're left with x on the left equals 13 divided by cosine 39,
Yes.
okay?
Alright,
So in the calculator, do 13, don't hit times this time, hit divide by. So 13 divided by, now type in cosine 39.
Remember, these are angles, we're dealing with sides, so, yes. And then what would be the hypotenuse side? Yep, which leaves.
Use that calculator, so I'm gonna work together there.
Okay.
We'll show you how to-
What I want you to do is I want you to go back, you can use them in this.
So what'd you get?
if you want. Go back and correct.
16.72, is that what you get? Yeah, but it should be 7. 16.73.
Okay, so,
Okay?
what,
Questions
where
on
the
this?
hypotenuse is what, x, right?
Nope.
Means we don't know.
3 minutes. So we're ready to number
So
5.
we do know the other two.
Number 5.
So that means we replace these numbers with A and B. So what are the numbers there, Sebastian?
Okay? Okay.
Okay.
Let's label our sides. What is 22?
Now, in your calculator, I want you to tell me what's
The
9
opposite?
squared and what's 12 squared.
Okay, what is x? Right? Why is that on my hypotenuse again?
They're right on the first time.
Across from the box, they
Negative
can
one
the
and-
angle. Alright,
Okay.
what trig function
Add those two
uses
together.
opposite and hypotenuse? Sin, right? So we have sine of 62
Okay.
is equal to what?
Now,
What's it gonna
we
be?
have that C squared there still, we gotta get rid of that square.
What's
What
my
we get
fraction
Rid of that
supposed to be?
square is we square root.
You probably have already written it down. What's the fraction you wrote down? 22 over x. Alright, so now, I'm gonna show you a shortcut. So if you've already kind of done the 2 steps, you might wanna stop and watch this. It's gonna make it a lot faster. Okay?
So C equals 15.
All I'm actually gonna do
Missing
is I'm gonna
side.
take this, sine 62,
Okay.
and this
Does that ring a
x.
bell now? Okay.
I'm just gonna trade places.
Yep.
Okay, if I trade places, it's gonna x equals 22 over sine 62.
Got it, man.
Now, that shortcut only works when the x is on the bottom. If x is on top, do it like the
Try
first
that last one
two,
more time.
where you just multiply the number to the other
We're
side.
almost there.
Okay? Now, type this into your calculator, 22 divided by sine 62.
Sir,
22 divided by sine 62.
You got it, bud. Yeah, just hang on to it. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. And then again, you're gonna.
What'd you get? 24.92.
Okay. Again, remember that's the.
There you go.
Square equals B
Okay.
square equals C squared. Okay.
Any questions?
There's an example.
Alright, so, we have 40 seconds before we're gonna switch. You guys kind of pack up. You guys are in action go to this middle one, so you're gonna do your IXL. Okay, so we got your two Chromebooks, go ahead and do that. Trade. Yes, sir. Ready to get,
Okay, hang on to that, okay. Keep working on that. Good job, though. Good.
All right, so-
Hey, do me a quick favor and put on a rule.
Hey, IXL group right here in the middle, you guys are going to Avery. Avery's group, you guys are coming to me. My group, you're gonna go over to the middle for IXL.
A different thing.
Is that good? Yo. Yo.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good job.
What's up? Sure. All right, guys, we're looking at this front side, everybody. Front side of the package. Okay? Yep, that's bottom seat. Okay. You left your bag? Oh, your calculator, okay.
You weren't here. You leave me out to the ball.
Oh, sorry. Nice, man. Redo it. Alright. You guys went over trade ratios over there with them, right? We're gonna kind of build on that in this front of the pack. So we use those trade ratios to solve for missing the size on
Everyone here
the
did
front.
really well.
Very front. We're not on the back here, we're looking at the very front now. Mike.
I'm gonna work with the two of you all. and
Yep,
remember
perfect.
To teach you.
Alright, so there's a 4-step process on how we're gonna do this, okay? The first step
If you got a
is
four,
to label
you can move
the
on to the
size.
Pythagorean here on practice. Okay, that's the second
Okay.
page of your packet.
Moses.
Okay. If you got a 3.
Alright, so
I'm gonna
label
walk
the size.
around.
So that's
I want you to see
opposite,
if you can
that's
figure out. what
adjacent, that's the hypotenuse.
Okay.
Is that, you guys worked on that over there, right?
Yeah, cool.
Step 2 is to use SOHCAHTOA.
Yeah, back page. In the one,
Right.
on the other side.
Which, SOHCAHTOA, that's the trig ratios, that's what you just did over there. Alright?
For those of you that got
So,
a 3, when you think you got the correct
Sine,
answer, let me know.
what two
Okay?
sides goes with trig function that's, trig function sine? What's the O and the H stand for? Yep.
Go back to the angle A.
What's that H stand for?
What's the opposite?
Hypotenuse, that's right. What about cosine? What two sides do we need for a cosine function?
No.
So, co,
Yeah,
so it's
we're
A
talking
and
about the
H.
size, not the angle. And what's the adjacent?
Adjacent and hypotenuse.
You got it. So you can move on to that.
Okay? And the last one is tangent.
So,
That was the last one, so TOA, T-O-A. So T's for tangent, O and A is for what? Opposite and adjacent. Okay? So,
give me a second.
that's what you're gonna use. We're gonna do a lot of this, okay?
And once I get done with
The third thing, third step, is to set up your ratio,
Basically what it is just creating a fraction.
ratio and solve. Alright? Set up our ratio and
What I'm gonna
solve. And the fourth one's already on your paper for you. That is to round all answers to 2 decimal places.
And I want you
Okay? There should be 2 numbers after the decimal in all these problems. Alright?
to give you the clue.
Any questions?
I want you to see if you can.
Alright, so let's look at the first one together. We're gonna do 1, 2, and then we're gonna do 4 and 5. We won't do 3 and 6 right now. Alright, we're gonna do 1, 2, 4, and 5, okay?
So, I'm gonna tell you, listen to the sounds I make.
Okay, so we got 58 in the top left corner,
So,
12, and then X on the bottom.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I want you to see.
Alright, so this is the angle you're gonna look at. Alright, so this is where we're gonna be making our labels from. Alright? So what side is the 12 on this triangle? Is it the opposite, is it the adjacent, or is it our hypotenuse? What do you think? Why is it hypotenuse? Yeah, that's right.
First one's right there.
Remember, the hypotenuse is always opposite of our 90-degree angle. So if we drew that arrow from the 90-degree angle, we pointed to that side.
So remember A squared,
What about the
Substitute
X?
the two
What's the
numbers.
X? Is it adjacent or is it opposite?
add them together,
Okay.
and then take the
Same,
square.
very similar to the 90-degree, we're gonna draw an arrow, it's pointed to that X. That's our opposite side. Right? So, what trig function, this is the SOHCAHTOA part, what trig function uses the opposite in our hypotenuse? Is that sine, is that cosine, is that tangent?
Well, did you not finish that?
Remember, SOHCAHTOA, right?
Back.
So which one has O and H? So, right? So what's the S stand for? Sin, right? Whoever said that, and right. So you got sine, we're gonna write down our equation here. Sine of 58. Yep, sine 58. The 58 came from the angle always goes with that trig function. So sine 58 equals x divided by 12.
Okay, cool. You add them together and take the square.
Alright? So does everybody understand how we get this? So it doesn't matter what the trig function is, sine, cosine, or tangent, it always gets the angle with it. Alright,
But
so
remember, it's
sine
okay.
58 equals our opposite side, which was x, divided by our hypotenuse, which was 12. Okay? Alright. Now, let's solve.
Okay.
How do you get the x by itself, but it's being divided by 12? How do I undo divide by 12?
So,
What's the opposite of dividing by 12?
it's like an equal.
Multiply by 12.
Okay, so let's look at your x's up here. So if I
Okay.
want to find the sine.
So the left side of my equation is
I'm
now
gonna go to
12 times
So
sine
on angle A,
58
which is the opposite
equals
side?
x. 12 on the right side,
The
cancel
top
that
number
one.
can be 12.
Okay?
What is the hypotenuse? You guys remember?
So any questions on how we
Yeah,
get
it's
this
the
equation?
longest side and it's across.
Alright, so this is where your calculators come in handy. So get your calculator, turn it on if it's not
To
on.
ingredients, it could be
I want
12.
you to type in 12 times. Okay?
Now, let's go back to the same angle, angle A.
No. So we put 12 times, then, does everybody see the sine,
Well,
and
we
cosine,
already know
tangent
part of
buttons?
it. What's the hypotenuse?
So hit sine, and then hit 15.
So the bottom number is gonna
Should
be.
get you a crazy decimal, like 10
Now,
point,
if we go back to angle A, what is the?
10.17, what'd you put? Let's see.
5, right?
You got 58,
13.
after you put sin, put 58.
Next to A, which is.
You get like 10.17, what's that in 1 second?
13 is already 12.
Alright, so it's gonna round that to
So find the tangent
10.18.
opposite over adjacent. So what was that?
So that would be our answer. So we rounded that 0.176. Since it's a 6, it means we can push that 7 up to an 8. Okay?
So that's basically the purpose, and that'll help you, when you guys go over this procedure, he's gonna talk about that. He's also gonna be adding, how do we
Well,
fund
I rounded the 7 up to
side
an
when we have a meeting, okay? That'll
8. Is what they have on their calculator the same as what you
So
have?
go ahead to the second page of your packet. We're gonna continue.
Would you do 12 times sin 58? Okay, this should be the same.
Put up an example of, this one.
But I just rounded up that 1/7 to 1/8 because the number after 7 is 6. Okay? So, let's look at number 2.
Or SpongeBob.
Alright? So, we're looking at this.
Starting to wear on me.
Alright? Looking at the 41 here. This is the angle we're looking at.
There's a few left.
What is the x in this equation? To the opposite line, adjacent or the hypotenuse?
After you add these together, okay, we have c squared, but we want c.
What is
So we have to take the square root in
It's
order to
adjacent,
get
right? Remember adjacent
our
is like,
side.
it's right next to you, right? It's side by side.
You had everything else perfectly, just missing that one side.
Alright?
Okay.
So you have the opposite and the adjacent. What trig function uses the opposite side and our adjacent side? Remember? Yes. So, what trig function uses the opposite side and our adjacent? What? TOA, right? So what's TOA stand for? What's the T stand for? T, not the O. Tangent, yes. So you got tan 41
This one's perfect. Okay.
equals
This one is a lot of.
opposite over our adjacent, so x over 8. Alright? 41, whatever the angle is. Alright? So if x divided by 8, so how do you get rid of the divide by 8? Okay. Multiply by 8.
So remember how each side we can label A, B, and C, okay?
Alright?
We usually
So
label
the
the
left
smallest
side,
number
we
A,
have
middle number B, and
Times
C, right?
tan 41.
So if we already know the longest
X.
number, if we plug it into our formula here, right?
Two members, 2 decimal places after the decimal.
C is over here. So 5 squared.
No, 8 times
Eight
tan
right
41.
here is 4 squared. That means we
6.95?
don't know what A.
Did everybody get 6.95 over here now? Alright, perfect.
The good thing is you already have the calculations for
Any
each.
questions on this?
5 squared was what? Yep.
Alright, so we're gonna
And then
skip
4 squared is
number
what?
3 for the time being, we're gonna go to number 4.
So instead of
Okay.
adding those together now, okay, since we need to find A, we're gonna subtract these, okay? So 25 minus 16, which is gonna give us 9. So A squared equals 9.
We got x and then 13 and 11.
But what's that last step?
Alright,
We do the same last step.
so, step
Take
1.
the what?
Let's make sure we label this where 39 right here.
Yep.
Alright, so what is my
Have
x?
C, you're gonna subtract the
Opposite
number.
adjacent or hypotenuse? Is your hypotenuse opposite of that? That, right angle? What about the 13? Is that opposite or is that adjacent to the 39? It is adjacent, right? Remember, it's kind of like side by side. This is adjacent. Alright? So what trig function is going to use our adjacent side or hypotenuse? Cosine. So you got cosine 39 equals 13 over x. Okay? What do you notice now about this problem that maybe wasn't like that problem on the first and the second? The x is now on the bottom. But the first two is on top. I'm gonna show you a shortcut though to make this a lot easier. Now this shortcut that I'm gonna show you though, only works when the X is on the bottom. Okay? When X is on top, do like the first two, where you just multiply it over. Okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take cosine 39 and X, and we're going to trade places.
Yep, perfect.
We're just going to trade places. Alright? So what that looks like is that X equals 13 divided by cosine 39. Okay? So again, we should be X and the cosine 39, traded places. Now type this into the calculator. Hit 13 divided by, and then cosine 39. Cosine 39, yes.
16.7.
So you said 16.727, so we can round that up. Do we round that up or do we keep it the same? We're gonna round up 16.28. Right, is it 72 or is it?
16.7.
Oh, so sorry.
So, yeah,
Seven.
100 minus that.
So, 13, and then you divide by cosine 39. Yep. So we got 16.727, and we round it up to 16.28. Or 7, sorry. Alright, so last one we'll do real quick, alright, number 5.
So far, so good.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, thank you.
You just need to keep working until I say it rotate. Right? So, what side is my X in this problem? The X or the 22?
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about the X. Hypotenuse. What about the 22? That's opposite. Alright, so we are going to use what trig function?
What is 11?
What trig function uses O and H? So that'd be sine 62 equals, remember, opposite over hypotenuse, so 22 over X. Alright? And now, since we have X on the bottom, make sure since X on the bottom, we do our shortcut. Let's trade places. Alright? So you're gonna have X equals 2 over sine 62. Okay? So again, go ahead and type that into the calculator, tell me what you get.
And a good way to check that is always,
Yeah, I think this time is 5 o'clock. What'd you get?
now,
Or you were 24.91? Oh, 6. So 24.91. Yep. Oh, that's it. Alright. So, we're about to switch here. You guys are gonna go to the middle page right here. You guys are gonna work on your action plan. You know your action plan, work on recommendations, okay? On IXL. So you guys can pack up, move over there. Mr. Avery, you ready? You guys are going to Mr. Avery. Mr. Avery, you guys are coming to me. And you guys are in the middle, working on your IXL. Hey, we're gonna be looking at the front here. We're gonna do 1, 2, 4, and 5. Hey, we're looking at the front. What pages are all on?
alright, so you're in this station now.
Yeah, there's like 11. It might be tight, but I think
Know what you're doing, so, track it.
Oh, yeah, she is
Here's
good.
what you do the Pythagorean theorem of U. You can work on your
Nice,
action plan.
nice.
Done with all of those. You
All
work
right,
on the
all
action
right, so is everybody good, everybody ready? So,
Step back at first.
come on, Kyle, let's go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Action plan.
All right, so we're going to get started. The front,
Or I
on the very front. So SOHCAHTOA is the sides. Okay? So, there are 4 steps to actually solving this. The last one's already filled out for you. So the first step we're gonna do is label the side. Alright?
Action plan.
So hopefully you worked on that over there where you were labeling opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. Okay? So that's what you're gonna do on this stuff as well. Step 2. You're gonna use SOHCAHTOA.
You need to remember Pythagorean theorem.
So SOHCAHTOA. Alright? Y'all talked about that over there, didn't you? Okay, so let's kind of go back over it. What 2 sides do you need if I'm gonna use the sine function?
Are we supposed to be writing this down?
Yes,
Where?
on the top front. Jerry, help him out. Jerry doesn't even know where to write it at. Yep, it says steps. So step 1 was to label the sides. Step 2 is to use SOHCAHTOA. And now we're writing down what each side you need for each function. So what 2 sides do you need for the sine function? So opposite divided by your hypotenuse. Okay? Alright. What about cosine?
Adjacent and hypotenuse.
Right, that's CAH. A stands for adjacent, H is for hypotenuse. Broken. Okay? And then the last one is TOA. T is for tangent.
That's all part of the step two, right? Opposite.
I'm just kind of going over the ratios again, but yes. And what 2 sides do you need for tangent?
Opposite and adjacent.
Opposite and adjacent. Alright, so if you have this table, or not this table, if you have these general fractions somewhere in your notes, it's a good thing to always kind of be looking at this. If you don't, you can kind of remember SOHCAHTOA. Alright? I'll probably just keep this up while we go over these practice problems. Number 3 is you're going to set up your ratios and solve. Okay, and I'll show you how to solve. Really solving is like a 1-step problem, and then you use your calculator to get you the answer. And the 4th step is already on your paper. The 4th step is to round all your answers to 2 decimal places. Alright, so that's 2 numbers after the decimal point. That's already on your paper.
I know,
Okay.
it doesn't take any, a little more than.
Any questions over these steps? Alright, so let's look at number 1. The first one. Here we go. 58, 12, and X. Alright. So, what's our first step? It's on the paper, it's on the top. You wrote it down. Step 1 is to do what?
Label the sides.
Label the sides. Yeah, Cassie was like, I have no clue. Label the sides. So this is the angle we're talking about. It's 58. Okay, so let's label it. What is the 12 in this triangle? Is it your opposite side, your adjacent side? Is it your hypotenuse?
Hypotenuse.
So why did you say hypotenuse?
Because it's across from the 90-degree angle.
Across from the 90-degree angle. That is correct. Okay? So what is the X?
Opposite.
Why did you say opposite?
Because it's going away from the 58.
Yep, it's away from the 58. It's across from the 58. Alright? So, what trig function do we use with opposite and hypotenuse?
Sine.
Sine, right? Sine, opposite, hypotenuse, that's the SOA part of SOA TOA. So this is how you're gonna set your equation up. Sine of 58 equals, and this is your ratio, opposite over hypotenuse, so we're gonna do x over 12. Okay? So like what I said before, it's really just a one-step problem, okay? And you let the calculator do the rest, all right? The one step is, we gotta get rid of this fraction. Well, we gotta get x by itself, really. In order to do that, we gotta get rid of the fraction. So how do you get rid of divide by 12? Right, what's opposite of divide?
Subtract.
Multiply.
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So we're gonna multiply both sides by 12.
I assume myself how dumb I am sometimes.
Alright? So, we're gonna multiply both sides by 12. The left side is now 12 times sine 58 equals, now the right side is just gonna be x. So we got rid of those 12s. Okay? Now, here comes the calculator part. What's up?
Oh,
You have the answer? Well, we gotta go over how to type it in first. So in your calculator, if you don't have a calculator, I've got some extra. Who doesn't have a calculator? Alright, so in your calculator, type in 12. Alright, times, sorry Cassie. Okay? Now, does everybody see the sine, cosine, tangent buttons, like sin, cos, tan? We're using sine, so we're gonna hit the sin button and hit 58. 12 times sin 58. Yep, and after you do that, you click enter, you get some huge decimal, like 10.176 or something like that. Alright, so 176, we can round that up to 10.18. Alright? So again, it was one step, and then we let the calculator do all the work for us after that. Okay? The
You
hardest,
round up every time.
yeah.
not every time, if it's, 5 or above, give it a shove, 4 or below, let it go. So if it was like 10.174, you just kept it at one step.
Alright.
Hurry up. Alright? Questions on this? Alright? So let me erase this. We're gonna go over number 2. Alright, so we're looking at this angle right here. So let's label the sides, that's step 1, okay? What is the x in this triangle? Is it my opposite, is it my adjacent, or is it my hypotenuse? What? That is correct. Opposite, because it's away from that 41. Okay, now what's the 8?
The adjacent.
That is right, it is adjacent. Remember, so adjacent is like, it's like side by side, okay? It's right next to it, but it's not the hypotenuse, okay? So, we have opposite and adjacent. What trig function are we using for opposite and adjacent? Tan, it's the last one there. So you got tangent 41 equals x over 8. Alright, now how do you get rid of divide by 8? Exactly, the same way we got rid of divide by 12.
Is that y over 8?
X over 8. So we're multiplying by 8. You now have 8 times tan 41 equals x. And that's, you type in 8 times tan 41, you get your answer.
Seven.
6.954, so since the 4 comes after the 5, it's gonna stay as 6.95. Remember, 2 numbers after the decimal place, or the decimal point. Okay? So, any questions on this one? So when X is on top, you guys are doing great. Just multiply by the denominator, put it in the calculator. Okay? We're not gonna number 3. We're gonna actually skip that one and go to number 4. Sorry. Just because we're kind of pressed for time. Kind of. Alright, so let's label our sides. What is X in this problem? Opposite adjacent or hypotenuse. What do you think? It's not opposite. It is hypotenuse, but it's opposite of that box, the 90 degrees. Okay? Oh shoot, not opposite. That's just said it wasn't. It is hypotenuse, yes. Sorry. I just said it's not opposite. I don't know what opposite is. My bad. Good. It's opposite of the box. If it's ever opposite of the 90-degree angle, that's always hypotenuse. Alright? What's the 13? Is it opposite or adjacent? It's adjacent. So what trig function do we use for opposite or hypotenuse and adjacent? Cos, right? Right here. Adjacent and hypotenuse. Alright? So you got cosine 39 equals 13 over x. Now what do you notice is different from this problem and maybe the first two that you did?
We're not multiplying.
X is on top.
The x is now on the bottom because the first two are on top. Okay? I'm going to show you a shortcut. This shortcut only works is when x is on the bottom. So when there's like the first two problems, x is on top, you just do your multiplication, you're good. When x is on the bottom though, is our shortcut. We're going to take this, the trig function with the angle, in this case is cosine 39, and the x, and we're going to trade places. Alright, we're just going to trade places with it. Okay? So you have x equals 13 divided by cosine 39. We'll do a shortcut. If you don't do the shortcut, it turns into like a two-step problem. Which is fine, you can do that, it's no big deal. Okay? So now, in the calculator, do 13 divided by 39. Yeah, did I say cosine? Yeah, 13 divided by cosine 39.
It's 16 points.
7.73. 16.73. Alright? Questions on this? Sweet. Calculators, hey, just leave the calculators on their table. Don't worry about it. I'll take them back to the room. Don't take the calculators home with you because we won't have them for tomorrow to do.